Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have a special video for you covering the recent developments in Iran over the past 12 hours. So let's get right into it. So at around 1:50 AM, explosions were reported in Iran, coinciding with reports of Iranian fighter jets being active over the skies of the capital city, Tehran. And this was the beginning of the Israeli retaliatory strikes on Iran in response to Iran's missile and drone attacks on Israel earlier this month. So Israeli fighter jets took off from bases across Israel and flew over the northern part of the West Bank and into Jordanian and Syrian airspace. A battle took place in the skies of Daraa, which is just here, and Damascus, the capital of Syria, which is just here, where Syrian air defences attempted to shoot down Israeli warplanes and missiles. Syrian sources claim that some targets, presumably drones or missiles, were shot down. This has not been confirmed, however. And in this video we can hear the sound of Israeli warplanes over Damascus. Israeli warplanes then conducted a series of limited airstrikes on the southwestern suburbs of Tehran and on the city of Mashhad, which is just over here in eastern Iran. Additionally, explosions were reported north of Baghdad, where Israeli airstrikes reportedly targeted the Islamic resistance there. Sirens also sounded in the US Embassy in Baghdad at the same time. And the Islamic resistance in Iraq has previously launched drones and missiles at Israel and is supported by Iran. First waves of attack on Iran ended with all targets likely being shot down by Iranian air defences. However, it appears that these were just probing attacks to test Iran's air defence and reveal the locations of their medium to long range anti-air systems. The IDF then released an official statement, quoting them now, in response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran and the State of Israel. Right now the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have relentlessly been attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Hebrew media then reported that the Israeli response to Iran was over, and Iranian media reported that, quote, most of the attacks in Tehran were confronted, the strikes were limited and not as large as the media intimidation and the entity's threats. Some of the sounds of explosions in the vicinity of Tehran were caused by air defense missiles. Then, an hour later, Israeli aircraft that were returning to Israel via the eastern Mediterranean Sea took a U-turn back in the direction of Iran. Refueling planes were also reportedly active in the skies, which likely allowed for this action to be taken. As they flew back into Syrian airspace, the second and third waves of Israeli airstrikes on Iran began. Videos began to surface showing mass interceptions of Israeli missiles, as you can see here. Although it appears that some of the interceptions may have actually been airburst munitions from older anti-air guns. The second wave finished shortly afterwards as the Israeli Army radio reported that all Israeli aircraft landed safely back at their bases. As for the results of the attacks, different sources are making differing claims. The IDF released an official statement saying, quote, based on intelligence, Israeli Air Force aircraft struck missile manufacturing facilities used to produce the missiles that Iran fired at the State of Israel over the last year. Simultaneously, the IDF struck surface-to-air missile arrays and additional Iranian aerial capabilities that were intended to restrict Israel's aerial freedom of operation in Iran. Meanwhile, the air defences of Iran released a statement saying, quote, despite previous warnings by the Islamic Republic of Iran to the criminal and illegitimate Zionist regime to avoid any adventurous actions, this fake regime attacked parts of military sites in Tehran, Khuzestan and Elam provinces this morning. The country's integrated air defense system succeeded in intercepting and confronting this act of aggression. Very limited damage was caused in a few places, and the dimension of this incident is being investigated. Iranian media also claimed that an Israeli drone attack which targeted a military facility in Kermanshah in western Iran was thwarted by Iranian air defences. Additionally, unconfirmed reports stated that one of the Israeli projectiles struck a site in eastern Tehran and that the site is likely the Khojair missile facility. By the way, this map is from the Islamic World News Telegram channel. I will leave a link to their channel in the description below. Now, so far I've not viewed any videos with direct confirmation of any successful Israeli impacts on Iranian soil. However, the fact that the air defences of Iran stated that very limited damage was caused in a few places suggests that there may have been some impacts. Other sources also reported that they viewed confirmation of the impacts. One reliable Iran-based Telegram channel called Middle East Spectator, I will leave a link to their channel in the description below as well, by the way, stated that, quote, "In my opinion, the vast majority of the attack was thwarted, and that they probably managed to hit some empty parts of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps installations. I would estimate anywhere between 5 to 10 hits in total, although we've only seen visual confirmation of 1 or 2 currently. The explosions were very small, so I doubt there was heavy damage. Probably some of them were caused by quadcopters or low payload missiles. No critical targets were attacked, and the military targets were very low value, like Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps training grounds, firing ranges and barracks, and some warehouses or drone assembly points." Something else interesting to note is that there was also a report released by some sources claiming that Israeli-backed collaborators launched quadcopters from the suburbs of Tehran. The goal was reportedly to activate Iranian medium to long-range air defense systems, revealing their locations to the main Israeli force waiting to strike. However, according to the same sources, only short-range anti-air autocannons were activated rather than medium to long-range air defenses, and at the same time, all of the quadcopters were reportedly shot down. In my opinion, these interceptions may have been the cause for the initial explosions in western Tehran. However, I haven't seen anyone else come to this conclusion yet, so take it with a grain of salt for now. Overall, it appears that the Israeli attack on Iran may have had minimal consequences for Iran and severe consequences for Israel. Now Iran has a reason to attack Israel again. Israel is a very small country with only 5 thermal power plants. It would be very easy for Iran to knock these out. Israel's Iron Dome system has been overwhelmed multiple times in the past, first by Hamas on October 7th, then by Hezbollah a couple times, and finally by Iran in October of this year. It is not fit for large, continuous missile attacks due to the time it takes to reload these systems, and the fact that a chunk of it is focused on intercepting rockets from Lebanon makes it even more difficult for Israel to intercept incoming missiles from other directions. It is also very expensive to maintain significant air defense capabilities, especially for the more advanced and important systems such as Patriot, the Arrow, and David's Sling. Iran, on the other hand, is an overwhelmingly larger country than Israel, with what appears to be significant air defense systems. They have the strong support of Russia, a significantly larger power grid, and are not currently engaged in any other active conflicts which would require them to dedicate air defense systems to different directions. Now, the only thing which I would see as a positive for Israel is the support Netanyahu could potentially gain from right-wing Israelis. Although the attack appears to have largely failed in its objectives, Israel was much more dedicated to this attack than the last one. They reportedly used 100 aircraft, including F-35s, although this figure is unconfirmed, and compared to their last attack on Iran, it is much more significant. Previously, I predicted that the first retaliatory attacks on Iran would decrease Netanyahu's domestic support. That did happen, with him falling from around 26% to 18% in national polls. However, since then, he slowly crept back to the mid-20s. He, with his allied political parties, would be able to reform a new coalition government in the next election if the results were what the polls are currently stating. This significant response to Iran may allow Netanyahu to ride a smallish wave of popularity increase due to how it contrasted the previous strikes, possibly putting himself in a firm position to form the next Israeli government. He could gain the full support of the far right and the right wing in general, and would have nothing to lose on the left, who was already against him due to the war and genocide in Gaza. But that's about it for this video. It was shorter than most of my videos. Apologies for the lack of updates on this channel lately, by the way. I've been busy with reporting on Twitter, and I've been busy with real life stuff as well. I'll do my best to do world conflict updates every 2 days in the future. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider liking the video and subscribing. I'm not going to force you, but it does help with the channel more than you'd expect. Anyways, I'll see you all soon in another video. Goodbye.